What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, and I have been sitting at this truck stop in Montgomery, Alabama for a little over a day. It's been really uneventful, really haven't thought of much to do a video on. I mean, I tell you guys about my experiences with these truck stops in the South and how they're really, uh, you know, you have a lot of stuff going on at these truck stops, but this has been pretty uneventful here. I only had like one guy come up and try to sell me some gold jewelry, and I really haven't worn any jewelry since the '80s, so I had to decline that offer. But if you're in the market for a gold chain, come down here to Montgomery, Alabama at the Flying J. It did look real. Anyway, before I go any further in this video, I do want to calm anybody's concerns that they have about me going broke with my lease at Prime. I know that there are a few people out there that are concerned with me becoming destitute working at Prime, and I just want you to know that that's not going to happen, okay? Things are going to be fine with me regardless of what happens. Now, said I really didn't have any content to do a video or, anything like that, but this comment that somebody had left on my channel on my first week lease, what did I call it? I think I called it first week lease income lease operator pay. So there was a comment on that video that gave me the inspiration to do this video. Now I'm going to read this comment to you. So it says, first week is always killer. That's how they suck you in. Get back to us when you're doing $700 weeks and eating ramen noodles 3 times a day because you're destitute. And then comes the weeks when you owe Prime money for being a slave. Best of luck. Okay, so let's kind of go through this video. So first of all, what I was planning on doing was more for informational purposes. I was planning on putting my figures out every week so people would know the ebbs and flows of the trucking game, but several reasons kept me from doing that. Now, but what I have tried to do is kind of tell people, this last week, I think I forgot what video I was in. I said, I had the best week, even better than the first week. And then I said, but this week, which would have been this payday that just hit, because today's Friday, was probably one of my worst weeks outside of the time that I went home. And actually came out of the hole, or I was in the hole, well, not technically in the hole, but because my emergency fund was kind of on point at the time, but I was in the hole $1,000 coming off of 8 days of being home. So anyway, this last week, since he mentioned $700 as being kind of that benchmark or weeks when I owed money, I think this last week I probably had $470 go into my account, and then probably just under $500 going into my emergency fund. Don't quote me on that emergency fund amount exactly. So anyway, I have kind of at least mentioned those weeks being up and down. So there you go. I did mention that week as well. And so anyway, let's kind of talk about this. Now, if you watched any of my older videos, maybe about a month ago, or I think I did a caution video where I was saying caution, think about this before you lease. So I have kind of tried to put that information out there for people. I think my situation's a little bit different than the average person that goes into a lease. So to this subscriber, I just want him to know my situation's a little bit different, and that anybody can go broke. I mean, there have been millionaires that have gone broke. There have been a lot of people that go broke, but Prime is not going to be what drives me to being broke, okay? Now, one of the things that I've preached about is controlling your spending, possibly trying to have a good bankroll, uh, and then kind of having the mindset of, I came out of commission sales, but kind of having the mindset of somebody that doesn't that doesn't expect to get paid. Now, to calm anybody's fears that might be worried about me becoming destitute or possibly eating ramen noodles 3 times a day. Now, I did buy ramen noodles before I came out on this run. I was eating them. I already went through my ramen noodles. So if it gets to the point where I get that broke in the next, I guess, 2.5 weeks or 2 weeks or however long I plan on staying out, I won't have any ramen noodles to lean on. So I might be ass out there. But listen, I personally think that a lot more people should go company. I also believe that Prime should not only be teaching their ACE 2 class, they should be teaching just a regular financial literacy class, even more importantly than that. So, the reasons that I felt comfortable going Prime, my wife has a great job. She, we have our medical insurance through there, so I didn't need to lean on Prime for my medical insurance. You know, we have a little bit of money in the bank. We own we own a property that's paid off. We got a lot of equity in the house we're in now. Those are reasons why I felt comfortable going lease. We have a $2,500 mortgage, but I have, before my wife puts in 1 hour of work a month, or before I even turn this key to this truck, we have $2,800 a month coming in. That's just coming in. So I can go broke for a lot of different reasons, but Prime is not going to be the reason that put me there. Now, I've maybe touched $300. I went back and looked. I probably touched $300 of the money that I've made with Prime. So every bit of money that I've made since I've been out here for 2 months, except for those $300, is still just sitting there. So I'm not going to go broke. Now, I don't know if this person worked at Prime and went broke or whatever. There's a lot of reasons that I guess people could go broke at Prime. Now, I've seen more people that have been more of the success stories than I've seen the broke stories. And what I'm telling this particular person, or anybody potentially that is thinking about coming to Prime, is, because I have seen this, don't just jump in with nothing and go lease right off the bat. Don't come in. I personally wouldn't feel comfortable. Do what you want to do. And there's a lot of people that make it out of this as well. But I personally wouldn't jump into a lease with $500 in the bank and some credit card bills and a car payment. Oh, and I don't have any bills. Besides the mortgage, no bills, okay? So I personally wouldn't jump into a lease like that. I think I've mentioned that in videos before. I think that really the reason this comment is kind of speaking to me is, first of all, I think the comment was negative, and it was meant to make me look like I was an idiot for doing it, and I'm far from an idiot. So from that aspect, I didn't like it, but from this aspect of at least showing, again, caution to some people, that you may not be built for that. Maybe you do go company forever, or until you get to a certain point and then try it out or something like that. But the danger of it is that it might be discouraging people that actually have the ability and capability to go lease, and then kind of instill that kind of fear in them. But then again, I would say that you can't really scare an entrepreneur, but I don't think that a lot of people that actually, even though they become business owners through Prime, aren't technically what I would consider someone to have an entrepreneurial spirit. So let me forget what I just said. But anyway, I certainly don't need to make a whole lot of money, because to be honest with you, I've said it in some of my earlier videos, all I'm trying to do is just kind of get by. I'm 51 years old. I'm just trying to set a few things in place, so when it comes time for me to shut it down, I am ready to go. Maybe buy another property before, we shut it down. But I'm not, my goal isn't to make the most amount of money out there. And here's what I will tell you. If you make what I make, if you make what I've been making on this lease, and I'll keep everybody updated with kind of general terms of it, and you can't make it, or, you're going broke, then you're doing something wrong. Okay, something's going wrong with your spending. Something's going wrong with something. And if you are one of these people that are going broke in a lease and you stay in a lease, then you're wrong for that too. Because listen, for some reason this lease doesn't go right, I'm shutting it down. There's nothing wrong. Listen, I've failed at things before. I failed at the mortgage industry the first time I tried to get in that. If I fail at this lease, which I don't see happening, but let's say I fail at this lease, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shut it down, and I'm not going to be all concerned about what anybody thinks or anything like that, because when it's all said and done, I know where I'm going, and me failing at a lease, if it came down to that, really wouldn't deter me from what my final goal is. So, can you go broke in a lease? I don't know. Maybe there needs to be some other people out there on YouTube that have been with Prime that have gone broke to put those videos out. But I personally can't do that video yet because, look, I keep trying to say this in a way. If you're making what I make now, the average person should be able to live more than comfortably on that. Now, like I said, I haven't got to the point where I've been on the ramen noodles yet. But what I have got to the point where I have got is take all the other stuff aside. Take away the money I had outside of trucking. Take away the fallbacks and all that stuff that I could use. But let's just take the money that I have right now. I could go weeks and weeks and weeks of negative or, zeroed out paychecks and still be fine. So, like I said, I came out of a business where it wasn't uncommon to go a couple months without getting a paycheck. The only difference is they don't let you go in the hole in real life. Trucking, I think, I'm not going to call trucking not a real job, but they do kind of baby you a little bit in this trucking where they let you get in the hole. You ain't getting in the hole in no regular, real business that I've been in before. So, maybe it's my mindset. So, I'm not going to, sorry to keep rambling, but my mindset will not allow me to go broke, or there's just certain things I'm not going to do. And I hate to keep rambling on. And this is what I will tell you guys that are either leasing or being company and stuff like that. This job is too damn hard to walk away with this stuff or be in this business for more than 2 years without having anything. If you are in this business for 2 years and you don't have anything to show for it, then you've been doing this all wrong. There have been people at these companies that have shut down, and people are asking about bus tickets. Listen, I ain't ever taken a Greyhound bus, okay? It's never going to come to that point. And I've built my life like that, or I've built my life in a way to where that should not be the case. And I've sacrificed a lot of stuff. There have been a lot of, and this kind of goes into this lease thing. A lot of people are making a lot of money, whether they're leasing or company, and they're not putting any of that money away. They're going for that instant gratification of, what can they get now? And as a matter of fact, I was just at the terminal. Sorry to keep ranting on this. I was at the terminal the other day. I was actually listening to somebody tell me how much money they made, but they owed $6,000 on their taxes, and they weren't going to pay it until they got, I forgot what it was they wanted to buy. Listen, the reason people are failing with leases at Prime are probably things like that. Personal, well, I'm not going to call anybody stupid, but personal irresponsibility when it comes to how they handle their own business, not the business of driving these trucks. Anyway, you know what? I'm not going to get too into what these figures are again, but if you do stay subscribed to this channel and you do watch it, I will give you somewhat of an indication of how things are going. as far as what the money is week to week. And again, just want to calm anybody's concern that I would go broke during my lease at Prime. I'm sorry about ranting on this, but you know, here's one thing I do know is when somebody says that you can't do this, it's a reflection of how they feel about their self. You know, it's sort of like somebody saying, you know, if somebody was to say something like, man, I'm thinking about buying that $1 million house over there, and somebody like questioning it, you know, whether the person could buy it or not, the person questioning it is basically questioning the fact that they can't buy that house. So, listen, I'm sorry to have kind of got a little negative in this video, but sometimes you just got to keep it real. So, I do appreciate you guys for stopping by No Hippie Truck and Transportation. Comment, subscribe. I'm out.